Hamas confirms reaching agreement to end war in Gaza. Government mulls over Gaza humanitarian mission second wave. Good afternoon and Salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching World Today with me, Mohana Priya. Hamas confirmed it had reached an agreement to end the war, saying the deal includes an Israeli withdrawal from the enclave and a hostage prisoner exchange. Hamas called on Trump and guarantor states to ensure Israel fully implements the ceasefire. Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu said he would convene the government on Thursday to approve the Gaza ceasefire agreement aimed at bringing home all the Israeli hostages. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump said in a post on Truth Social that Israel and Hamas have signed off on the first phase of the U.S. proposed Gaza deal. He added that he is very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of the peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. Turkey will continue to assist in efforts to bring home the 9 Malaysian activists detained by Israeli forces while participating in the Freedom Flotilla Coalition and 1,000 Madeleines to Gaza, FFC TTMG humanitarian mission. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim informed the matter at the Himpunan Solidarity Bersama Gaza held at Axiata Arena, Bukit Jalil last night.
9 masih di tahanan Israel. Sahabat saya, Tayyip Erdogan, baru bagi mesej, baru menteri luarnya, sampai ke Masan, insya-Allah Turki akan terus bantu yang 9 itu.
Earlier, Wisma Putra had contacted Turkey and United States Deputy Secretary of State in efforts to expedite the release of the 9 Malaysian activists from the humanitarian mission detained by Israel. The Freedom Flotilla Coalition and 1,000 Madeleines to Gaza vessels were illegally intercepted by Israeli forces in international waters around 10:50 a.m. Malaysian time yesterday. On another note, the Prime Minister emphasized the significance of diplomatic relations in achieving mutual understanding and preventing conflicts between nations. However, these efforts are often misinterpreted and turned into political controversies by certain interested parties.
Yang saya mau dan rakan-rakan saya mau itu damai. Jangan dibunuh lagi anak-anak kita di Gaza. Jangan diapa-apakan wanita kita. Merdekakan mereka. Beri hak kepada mereka. Kalau ini bermakna kita atas nama ASEAN mengundang Donald Trump, apa salahnya gunding? Saya bukan menyerah, saya nak gunding. Kebebasan, kemerdekaan dan marwah.
The government is prepared to consider a proposal for a second wave of humanitarian missions to Gaza through the Rafah border crossing in Egypt. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the government, in principle, has pledged its support for any humanitarian effort to assist the people of Gaza.
Kita juga tuan-tuan tak mampu berbuat sesuatu kan seluruh komuniti.
Selesai belanjawan, Isnin Selasa saya akan panggil dengan kawan-kawan bincang dengan Sani, Nadir dan kawan-kawan wakil macam mana strategi nak sampai ke Mesir. Pecah tembok Rafah.
Takbir! Takbir!
And on a different note, Datuk Seri Anwar expressed pride and appreciation on the struggles and sacrifices of the 23 Malaysian activists who took part in the Global Sumut Flotilla GSF humanitarian mission. The Prime Minister said that the mission, aimed at providing aid to the people of Gaza, had marked a historic moment for the nation as Malaysians from diverse backgrounds braved immense challenges in the name of universal solidarity. Datuk Sri Anwar deeply respected the spirit and courage of the GSF participants who left their families behind to join the humanitarian cause despite high risks involved. The Prime Minister said the GSF voyage had drawn global attention, with the participants' courage, including that of the Malaysian representatives, serving as a symbol of resilience and global solidarity with the Palestinian cause. The GSF mission, involving over 500 activists from 44 countries, including Malaysia, set sail for Gaza as a show of solidarity and an effort to break Israel's blockade while delivering essential supplies to Palestinians affected by continuous attacks from the Zionist regime. Now, the World Health Organization, WHO, said that the Al-Aqsa hospital in Gaza was now operating at over 3 times its capacity. Pressure is increasing on the enclave's second-largest hospital as people continue fleeing the incursion in Gaza City.
Al-Aqsa Hospital is the hospital in the middle area. Used to be an hospital with a maximum 200 bed capacity. Currently, it has more than 700 patients and it needed expansion. You see a number of tents here. WHO provided 5 tents for 80 patients. We also helped to get 3 emergency medical teams in, and we provide a regular supply of essential medicines and medical supplies.
He added long queues of people waiting to gain access to the medical facility could be seen, as well as busy wards filled with patients and their families, some on beds and stretchers, others on the floor. Over the past month, an Israeli assault on Gaza City in northern Gaza has shut hospitals in that area, worsening overcrowding in hospitals that remain open in the south. Only 14 of Gaza's 36 hospitals are still partly functional, and those in the southern Gaza are overwhelmed. And on a related note, the Palestinian death toll in the Gaza Strip has risen to 67,183, with 169,841 others injured since the conflict between Hamas and Israel erupted on the 7th of October 2023. Gaza's health authorities also said in a statement on Wednesday that Israeli military operations in Gaza over the past 24 hours have killed 10 Palestinians and injured 61 others. In a separate statement also issued on Wednesday, the Hamas-run Gaza government media office highlighted the severe impact of the hostilities on frontline professionals and civilians over the past 2 years. The office reported that the Israeli offensive has on average claimed the lives of 2 medical personnel daily, 1 journalist every 3 days, and 1 civil defense worker every 5 days. An average of 232 Palestinians are wounded each day, with more than half of them being children and women. The statement added that the Israeli military conducts at least 1 attack on the local health system daily. Datuk Sri Mohamad departs for Myanmar today. Welcome back. Foreign Minister Datuk Sri Mohamad Hassan departed for Myanmar today to hold discussions with the country's top leaders and his counterpart. He wrote on his Facebook page this morning that he is heading to Myanmar to meet and discuss with the President, Senior General, Prime Minister and his counterpart. He also stated that the purpose of his visit to the conflict-torn nation was due to the recent violation of a ceasefire, which has undermined peace plan efforts and further worsened the situation. Previously, Malaysia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed that Datuk Sri Mohamad's scheduled visit to Myanmar, originally planned for 19th September, was postponed due to unavoidable circumstances. Meanwhile, in a statement today, the ministry confirmed that the minister is undertaking a 1-day working visit to Myanmar. U.S. President Donald Trump said most workers affected by the government shutdown will get back pay. However, Trump previously mentioned that back pay depends on who they are discussing about and that certain workers, according to him, do not deserve to be taken care of.
Well, we're going to see most of them are going to get back pay, and we're going to try and make sure of that. But some of them are being hurt very badly by the Democrats, and they therefore won't qualify.
The U.S. Internal Revenue Service will furlough more than 34,000 employees beginning October due to the government shutdown. Trump mentioned that he would share information regarding job reductions in the next 4 to 5 days. Spiraling violence in Haiti has displaced 680,000 children, nearly twice as many as a year ago as armed groups tighten control and public services collapse. UNICEF estimates that over 6 million people, more than half the population, including 3.3 million children, now need humanitarian assistance. The surge in displacement, combined with deteriorating health and education services and rising gang violence, underscores the growing risks to millions of Haitians, particularly children. According to UNICEF, more than 1 million children face critical levels of food insecurity. Around 288,500 children under the age of 5 are projected to suffer from acute malnutrition in 2025. Some 2.7 million people are living in areas controlled by armed groups, while internal displacement has climbed to 246,000 so far this year. UNICEF is urging immediate international funding to expand life-saving aid, including shelter, healthcare, education, and clean water. 3 new Bollywood films will be made in Britain from next year, in an announcement by British Prime Minister Keir Starmer during a trip to India on Wednesday. Now, Starmer visited Yash Raj Film Studio, India's leading film production and distribution company, which will bring major productions to Britain from early 2026 after an 8-year break from filming in the country, expecting 3,000 jobs to be created as a result. Starmer will hold bilateral talks with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday. Both sides have said they are looking to ratify a trade deal and bring it into effect within the next year. The two countries signed the free trade agreement in July during a visit by Modi, sealing a deal to cut tariffs on goods from textiles to whiskey and cars and allow more market access for businesses. Talks on the trade pact were concluded in May after 3 years of stop-start negotiations, with both sides hastening efforts to clinch a deal in the shadow of tariff turmoil unleashed by U.S. President Donald Trump. Now, French President Emmanuel Macron was on Thursday racing to find a new prime minister within a 2-day deadline after the resignation of outgoing Premier Sébastien Lecornu tipped the country deeper into political crisis. The presidency said Macron will name a new prime minister within the next 48 hours, indicating the appointment will come by Friday evening at the latest. Lecornu had resigned early Monday after less than a month in office, but Macron gave him up to Wednesday evening to find a way out of months of deadlock over an austerity budget. Lecornu's 2 immediate predecessors were ousted by the legislative chamber in a standoff over the spending plan. Now, there was no indication of the identity of the new premier. Unless Lecornu is reappointed, the new premier will be the 8th of Macron's presidency. The escalation of the crisis has turned into the worst political headache for Macron since he came into office in 2017, with close allies deserting a head of state who now appears increasingly isolated. Argentina's Congress on Wednesday voted overwhelmingly to restrict President Javier Milei's ability to govern by decree, the latest in a string of setbacks for the right-wing leader. Now, Milei, whose party is in a minority in parliament, has issued more than 70 decrees since taking office in December 2023 to push through his austerity agenda. The lower house chamber of deputies approved an amendment to a bill regulating presidential decrees by 140 votes in favor to 80 against and 17 abstentions. The bill, which had already been approved by the Senate, stipulates that a decree can be overturned by a single House of Parliament. Previously, a majority of both Houses of Parliament was required to reject a presidential order. The bill now goes back to the Senate, where it is expected to be approved. The vote deals a new blow to 54-year-old Milei, who is reeling from scandals within his party, a run on the peso that forced him to ask Washington for a financial rescue last month, and 3 earlier congressional votes overturning some of his pending vetoes. New York City filed a new lawsuit accusing Facebook, Google, Snapchat, TikTok, and other online platforms of fueling a mental health crisis among children by addicting them to social media. Wednesday's 327-page complaint in Manhattan federal court seeks damages from Facebook and Instagram owner Meta platforms, Google and YouTube owner Alphabet, Snapchat owner Snap, and TikTok owner ByteDance. It accuses the defendants of gross negligence and causing a public nuisance. The city joined other governments, schools, districts, and individuals pursuing approximately 2,050 similar lawsuits in nationwide litigation in the Oakland, California federal court. New York City is among the largest plaintiffs, with a population of 8.48 million, including about 1.8 million under the age of 18. Its school and healthcare systems are also plaintiffs. Google spokesperson Jose Castaneda said allegations concerning YouTube are simply not true, in part because it is a streaming service and not a social network where people catch up with friends. The other defendants did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Still to come in sports, Saudi Arabia stages comeback to disappoint Indonesia in Asia's World Cup qualifiers.
MyCard bukan sekadar kad pengenalan, tetapi medium utama yang menghubungkan rakyat dengan pelbagai perkhidmatan kerajaan dan swasta. Banyak insentif kerajaan disalurkan melalui MyCard, daripada bantuan kebajikan, kemudahan kesihatan hinggalah pelbagai program rakyat. Inilah keistimewaan yang dimiliki oleh setiap warga negara Malaysia. Sila periksa keadaan MyCard anda. Sekiranya chip rosak, hilang atau MyCard sudah uzur, segera lakukan penggantian di Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara agar hak dan kemudahan anda sentiasa terjamin. Inilah komitmen Madani dengan dokumen identiti yang sah, moden dan diyakini. Rakyat disantuni sebaiknya. MyCard, identiti anda, kebanggaan negara.
We begin the sports segment with football. Saudi Arabia fought back to earn a 3-2 win over Indonesia in Group B of Asia's World Cup qualifiers on Wednesday, as Faraz Al-Brikan's double boosted their hopes of securing a place at next year's finals in North America. The Indonesians went in front when Hassan Al-Tambakti struck out an arm as Dean James swung in his free kick from the right and Dix stepped up to clinically place his spot kick beyond Nafaf Al-Akidi. The lead only lasted 6 minutes, however, as Al-Shamad steered his right foot strike from the edge of the area beyond Martin Paes' dive to his left. With 9 minutes left in the half, the home side went in front. Yaqub Sayuri's needless pull on Al-Brikan's shirt saw a penalty awarded to Saudi Arabia that Al-Brikan slammed home. Al-Brikan put the result beyond doubt in the 62nd minute with a clinical close-range finish. Saudi Arabia next face Iraq in Jeddah on Tuesday and know that a win over Graham Arnold's side will guarantee their place in December's draw for the finals in the United States, Canada and Mexico. Rico. 6 of Asia's 8 guaranteed World Cup berths have already been filled by Japan, South Korea, Australia, Iran, Jordan and Uzbekistan. And in another match, Oman kept hosts Qatar at bay to earn a goalless draw in the country's opening clash in Group A of the 4th round of the Asia's World Cup preliminaries on Wednesday, denting both nations' hopes of automatic qualification for the 2026 finals. Qatar dominated the opening exchanges but struggled to turn that superiority into opportunities, with only midfielder Bualim Kouki threatening the Oman goal with a strike from distance in the 13th minute that flew wide off the target. The Omanis had been largely kept on the back foot, although Issam Al-Sabi did fashion an opening in the 27th minute that goalkeeper Mahmoud Abu Nada gathered, and Amjad Al-Harti steered a header over to the bar late in the half. Afif should have put the hosts ahead soon after the interval when the Omanis gifted him possession in their own half, but the Asian Player of the Year uncharacteristically side-footed his shot the wrong side of the post. The Carlos Queiroz coached Omanis, who are looking to qualify for the World Cup for the first time, will face the United Arab Emirates on Saturday in the next game in the 3-team group, with Qatar taking on the Emiratis on Tuesday. Now, Argentina's friendly against Puerto Rico in the United States has been relocated from Chicago to Fort Lauderdale and rescheduled for Tuesday next week. This is due to security and logistical concerns. Organizers on Wednesday said the football match, originally set for Monday at Soldier Field, will now take place a day later at Chase Stadium in Florida, home of Argentine captain Lionel Messi's Inter Miami. According to local reports, the change is prompted due to widespread protests in Chicago over United States immigration policies, which made it difficult to guarantee the event's security. More than 1,000 immigrants have been arrested since an immigration crackdown started last month in the Chicago area. The Trump administration vowed to deploy National Guard troops in its agenda to boost deportations. Additionally, the switch also gives the option of extending ticket sales and scheduling the match in the evening. World champions Argentina, who have already secured their spot in next year's World Cup in the United States, Mexico and Canada, will also face Venezuela in a friendly on Friday at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami as part of their warm-up. Saudi Pro League champions Al Ittihad have appointed Portuguese coach Sergio Conceição on a deal running until 2028. Now, the club officially made the announcement on Wednesday, replacing Frenchman Laurent Blanc, who departed last month. The announcement was made in a video posted on social media on platform X, featuring Conceição introducing himself and claiming that he came to make history with Al Ittihad. Blanc's exit came a day after Al Ittihad's 2-0 defeat to Al Nassr in late September, which saw the defending champions slip to third in the league standings. Assistant coach Hassan Khalifa took charge on an interim basis, supported by under-21 coach Ivan Carrasco. Conceição was dismissed by AC Milan on 29th May after a disappointing Serie A campaign that ended with the club in 8th place, missing out on European competition for the first time since 2019. He had joined Milan in December and led the team to the Italian Super Cup title in his second match in charge. UEFA President Alexander Ceferin said that the European football body have no plans to expand the European Championships beyond the current 24-team format. Now, the 57-year-old Slovene acknowledged his team have considered tweaking the qualification process for the tournament finals, but not in a way that would add any more matches to the already congested fixture calendar.
The Euro itself, I don't see it being changed. Maybe the qualifiers, but with, of course, no more matches because there's no more space for more matches. But maybe to make qualifiers a bit more interesting, we are thinking a bit about that, but not more than thinking, so not enough to share it here.
The news comes as qualifiers continue for the expanded 48-team World Cup in the United States, Canada and Mexico next summer, with speculation growing that FIFA may push to expand the 2030 edition of the tournament even further to include 64 teams. Kefirin also took the opportunity to laud Cristiano Ronaldo's storied career with the Portuguese skipper in attendance, along with his national team colleagues. Cristiano Ronaldo has become the first footballer to reach billionaire status based on the latest Bloomberg Billionaires Index, which has valued the Portugal great's net worth at an estimated $1.4 billion. Now, the 40-year-old striker's financial ascent comes after he signed a new contract with Saudi side Al Nassr in June, reportedly worth more than $400 million. Bloomberg said that Ronaldo earned more than $550 million in salary between 2002 and 2023, supplemented by a decade-long Nike deal worth nearly $18 million annually and lucrative endorsements with Armani, Castrol and others. Ronaldo's move to Al Nassr from Manchester United in 2023 had already made him the highest-paid player in football history, with an annual salary of £177 million, equivalent to $237.52 million, plus bonuses and a reported 15% share in his Saudi Arabia club. Ronaldo's billionaire status places him among a rare group of athletes that includes basketball greats Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson and LeBron James, golfer Tiger Woods and tennis player Roger Federer.
Super GT 2025 Series dengan 8 siaran langsung perlumbaan. Pusingan 1, 13 April dibawakan dari Litar Okayama International Circuit. Pusingan 2, 4 Mei dibawakan dari Litar Fuji Speedway. Pusingan 3, 28 Jun dibawakan dari Litar Sepang. Pusingan 4, 3 Ogos. Pusingan 5, 24 Ogos dibawakan dari Litar Fuji Speedway. Pusingan 6, 21 September dibawakan dari Litar Sportsland Sugo. Pusingan 7, 19 Oktober dibawakan dari Litar Autopolis. Dan pusingan 8, 2 November dibawakan dari Litar Mobility Resort Montegi di saluran Sukan RTM. Juga secara penstreaman langsung di RTM Click.
And that wraps up World Today this time round. In our top story today, Hamas confirms reaching agreement to end the war in Gaza. For business news updates, do join us tonight at 8:30 p.m. on TV1 or saluran Berita RTM. Till then, I'm Mohana Priya, Malaysia Madani, Rakyat, Disantuni.